Welcome to another episode of Heat Check. We got an exciting episode coming your way today. March Madness, the Final Four is upon us. We're about to see the national championship game. We'll be talking about that, breaking down all the teams. And the Tribe, William & Mary basketball, has made a new head coaching hire in the wake of Tony Shaver's departure. And we're going to be breaking that down, talking about the team, what's in the future for Tribe basketball, and how excited we are. So I'm Abhishek Goel, joined by
Dylan Wolfson
and Joey Bohley.
Let's do this thing.
I mean, can't you just come up with anything normal?
All right. So wow. Can I just say we've seen the round of 64. We saw the round of 32. We saw the Sweet 16. We saw the Elite 8.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
And here we are at the Final Four. We only see 4 giants emerge. We saw a big giant fall just now. We saw, I think, we can just start talking about Duke. Everyone's favorite heading into
Duke's
the
ass.
tournament. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. No two ways about it. I mean, shit, Duke didn't show up.
I mean, Michigan State's a pretty solid team, personally, I think.
Tell me about Michigan State, Joe.
I mean, Cassius Winston, best point guard in the country, first team All-American, AP.
Yeah.
All-Region team.
Yeah.
Who's this? Xavier Tillman from Michigan State was also on the All-Region team. He's one of their forwards.
What is the All-Region team?
Oh, for the NCAA tournament, So
gotcha. Oh, All-Region. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, the East All-Region team is Cassius Winston, Xavier Tillman, and then Williamson and Barrett from Duke. And
we said Zion.
Williamson.
Address him by his name.
Williamson and Barrett from Duke, and then Kerry Blackshear Jr. from Virginia Tech. Who? Kerry Blackshear.
Is this solid player?
Yeah, solid.
He's solid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not going to go out and say that the best team came out of the region, but, it's March Madness. Anything can happen.
I mean, yeah, I think it's consensus that the best team did not come out of the region, but
I mean, that's kind of wild that you said that.
I feel like Michigan State is a very good basketball team.
I mean, yeah.
They showed up.
And
they played a very good game of basketball.
They did.
Do you think there's a sentiment that Duke choked?
I mean, it's hard to say that when they only lost by 1 point, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Like, there were very few things that they had to do for the game to have a different outcome. But, this is not a Duke team that went undefeated the whole of the year.
Yeah.
So, they were definitely the favorites heading in, but, we've seen them lose before. It's not completely
We
crazy
saw them
thing
lose to much worse teams than Michigan State.
During the year, yes.
Syracuse,
yeah,
Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech's not bad, but they're not Michigan State.
But yeah, I think something else that we can talk about is how, barring their game against the 16 seed, all their games have been close.
All of them. Even the one against the 16 seed was close for a while. They were trailing at halftime.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. This Duke team, if Taco Fall doesn't foul out, in that wild play by Zion.
I don't even know that Duke makes it the Elite Eight.
UCF, UCF had they had the guy right there who just missed the.
There were very few things they had to change to come out with a W there.
Oh my god!
It's really just on the rim.
Honestly, you just need to blow that right in. Just need a little bit more. It was so sad. And then we saw the no, that was Florida State with someone else. No,
Virginia Tech.
Tech.
Against Duke.
Open,
same thing.
Layup, or somewhat of a layup.
Yeah,
very close.
That was the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the Tech where he's just right there and he missed it. Right?
Yeah, but that was also UCF though.
Yeah,
UCF missed the layup and then they missed the putback too.
Yeah, the putback was the one that was really close.
Yeah, it was
but for Tech, he just missed the whole basket. That was the alley-oop play, right?
It was a wild break.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how you missed that.
Everyone wanted to see that because Tech had beaten them earlier in the year.
Yeah, they did beat them earlier in the year.
Stormed their court, showed out for Blacksburg and everything. But yeah, Duke advanced.
Survive and advance.
Yeah,
that's the name of the game.
Went to the regional final, and Spartan Dogs showed up.
Duke just couldn't make it happen again. Honestly, I mean, at the beginning of the year, I know I was one of those people. I was like, "Who's beating Duke? Who's going to beat them?" And then several teams proceeded to beat them. UNC twice, right?
Yeah.
And then
neither was Zion.
beat
I was
Duke.
going to say they didn't have Zion for either of the games.
Okay, but
still, yes.
They still lost.
Yes.
They got blown out the first time.
Well, yeah, they go into the game having Zion being the only part of the offense, really. The only functioning part of the offense.
Dude, dies halfway through, the first minute of the game.
Yeah. I don't think he made it to the 30-second mark before.
I think he made it to the 31-second mark.
I mean, yeah, that's what it. Anyways. But yeah, so we see only one one seed going to the Final Four. UVA.
Yeah, UVA. I like UVA a lot. They got some good players. Kyle Guy, Ty Jerome, and Mamadi Diakite really stepped up in that last game.
Don't forget DeAndre Hunter.
And DeAndre Hunter. I mean, top 10 talent at least in the draft.
I would definitely
coming
say
up.
that.
Probably. I've seen him projected in the top 10 several times.
But yeah, the shot.
I mean, what else can you say? I actually fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah, going in the last 2 minutes of that game. Super sad.
Well, you really missed out.
And then I slept through all of overtime as well.
Oh, was that the one when you weren't here?
I wasn't here. I wasn't here.
But yeah, we. I mean, I wasn't watching it with the boys, but I mean, everyone was watching the game.
It was really just one of the best moments of college basketball I've seen in the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, Diakite gets the board, slaps it out, and then I forget who their guard was that made the pass.
I can't remember.
Yeah,
either.
but they get it from behind midcourt and heave it back to Diakite, who puts an absolute floater. Just
it was wild.
Barely had it. There was 0.3 seconds left on the clock. When
I want to talk about Purdue a little bit too.
Purdue, yes.
Carson Edwards. Come
on! The range.
God.
That
Dude,
range.
So NBA good. Threes.
It was
ridiculous.
Was draining. Okay, this is the problem, though. He goes for, 42 in that game?
I believe it was 42.
Something like that. At the end, he was playing hero ball. It was
he was. I mean, he was carrying them.
I mean, he was playing hero ball for most of the game. He was the offense. But at the end, they got to a point where UVA started, double teaming him. As they should have probably for most of the game, but it started where he put his head down and you could tell that there was no way that he was going to pass the ball.
Yeah.
Where he has other shooters around him. It's not like he doesn't have the guy that broke the record right next to him too.
Yeah.
I was screaming at the TV telling him to pass because if I recall correctly, he took a super contested shot. I don't know whether it was a layup or just a flat brick and just turned around, gave UVA life when...
He was 10 of 19 from 3 in that game.
Which is absurd, yes.
He took 19 threes.
Yeah. I mean, he took... Yeah, exactly. That's a lot of the story there. He took 19 threes. But, I mean, there was a point where he was he must have been 9 for 15.
Oh, yeah. And then he did go cold a little bit there. But
I mean, you have to credit Tony Bennett's coaching in that game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, his scheme is probably the best in college basketball, at least defensively.
Backline defense.
The way that they use their guards to push the offense forward and to carry their offense is something that I think a lot of people disagree with, but ultimately is the main reason for their success.
It's very old school.
Yeah,
where they just slow the game down. They aren't a high scoring team, but they don't give up too many points on defense typically, unless you're giving up 42 to Carson Edwards,
which it happens, right? It happens to anyone.
But yeah, they stayed in that game. Kyle Guy was phenomenal. Yes, yeah, perfect. I mean, yeah, that's UVA is still going. They, I mean, you could say they're the favorites. I'd probably say they're the favorites to win it. No disrespect, of course, to Michigan State.
It's just they're the one seed.
Consensus favorite. They have had a very easy run, might I add, to the Final Four. I think it's one of the easier ones. I mean, who have they played? They've played...
I got it right here.
Purdue, Oregon, who was a 12 seed, and then Oklahoma.
Oregon was so weak. I mean, they played
Garner Webb, who gave them a run for their money.
Yeah, a little bit
in the first half.
There, yeah.
In the first half. But yeah, I mean, the Oklahoma game wasn't particularly close.
No.
Oregon was close, but I mean, it was at the end of the day, it was a 12 seed versus a 1 seed, and then Purdue we all saw, but.
So yeah, I think this Purdue team was pretty impressive this year. They gave Villanova a beatdown, and then they continued to do that to Tennessee.
Okay, I just want to have
Villanova doesn't deserve anything.
What?
I mean, we got limited
Villanova
time.
My 5 seconds. I mean,
5, 4,
you, Joe. Okay.
3.
I'd like to say that
2,
Sadiq had a great season.
1.
That's my boy. come tournament time, of course, the plan was never to center around him. I mean, it was always going to be Booth and Pascal.
So you're saying they centered around him?
What?
So they centered around him. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying they centered around Booth and Pascal.
Okay.
That was always going to be the plan. I mean, we all knew it. We'd seen Booth. Prior to this, Booth had won a championship in every single year that he had been healthy in college. And he's electric. Pascal's electric, but Carson Edwards poured in. He poured in, 42, 45? He dropped a 40 marker on him.
He's really good.
So, yeah, when someone's shooting like that, there's not much to do. No one on that team really had a great game. They tried to compete with them shooting, but they couldn't.
They just kept throwing up bricks.
Yeah, you can't compete with shooting like that.
Gillespie took so many shots.
Unless you're UVA, then you can compete with shooting.
Gillespie's a really good player, but, he's not.
Bricking.
What are you going to do when someone's doing that? They were just down for so long, and there wasn't really much coming back. There's not much you can do, but, I'm looking up for next year. Should be good. But yeah, enough about Nova. They didn't make it past the round of 32.
Yeah.
But shout out Nova Nation. Shout out Jay Wright. Shout out Sadiq, Eric Pascal, Phil Booth, retired a legend. He might go to the league.
This is like
way
more than
way more than Villanova. Yeah, but anyways, let's talk about who else is in this.
Texas Tech and Auburn.
Yeah, let's talk about Tech.
I'm gonna be straight up. Texas Tech, team I know the least about.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're their team that really has been good these past few years. Some would say an elite team these past few years, and just really hasn't gotten their primetime spotlight. Because up until Jarrett Culver's really broken out, they didn't really have like a star player. I want to shout out Zaire Smith; he's a solid player, but they didn't have anyone like.
Culver averages 19 a game, and then the next two guys are Moretti and Mooney, who are at 11 and 11.
They're like UVA, where they're a defensive team and they like to keep the pace of the game pretty slow. So that's understandable. But yeah, the way that their team is built, their location, their fan base, it just they don't really seem to get the spotlight that often.
Yeah. And they've had some pretty good wins. Of course, they played Northern Kentucky, took care of them in Buffalo.
Buffalo's one of the best mid-major teams in the country.
Michigan beat Michigan by 20.
Michigan's not 19. That good.
I've
been saying all year, Michigan hasn't beaten anybody.
Yeah.
They got swept. They literally lost 3 games to the same team. They lost 3 games to Michigan State. That's really hard to do.
Yes and no. Michigan State's a good basketball team.
Okay, but Michigan was ranked in the top 10 for most of the year. You're going to tell me that
Michigan
they deserve
State.
Yeah. So you're going to tell me that a Michigan team that's ranked in the top 10 all year should get swept by another team that was ranked in the top 10 all year. They should win at least one of those games to warrant being ranked in the top 10 all year.
UVA lost to
Duke
twice?
They probably should have won one of the games.
Okay.
But,
they didn't lose them 3 times, did they?
Shit, if they were in the conference championship, they probably could have.
They could have.
Probably.
I also don't think UVA is that good. I think they're good, but I don't think they're that good.
I think they're the best situated to win the championship.
I agree.
I'm not going to say what I think because I'm very superstitious.
For our listeners out there, Joey is a big Michigan State guy, as you probably heard from the last one.
Or just from this one. If you're smart enough.
Or I could just be some guy who hates Michigan, which that's also true.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
but I also have facts to back up how bad Michigan really is.
But yeah, he doesn't want to jinx Michigan State. He's very optimistic for how they'll do.
That's not even facts.
Well, how do you feel? There we go.
I don't know.
So
Texas Tech's good. Michigan State's good.
So
it's going to be a good
Culver,
game.
We've seen
he's
him
a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
They got to strap him.
Yeah.
What is he? Is he a guard?
Yeah, he's a guard.
Yeah, he's a guard.
So, if you look at the guard matchup, Cassius Winston, All-American, against Jarrett Culver, honorable mention All-American, I think.
I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I don't have his...
He wasn't a first-team All-American.
He's in the Big 12. He's a good guard in the Big 12.
I've seen him projected as a top 10 pick also.
This year?
He's averaging
recently.
23 and a half.
More
he's averaging 23 and a half. That's, of course, after tournament time.
Culver?
Culver.
Yeah. He doesn't have as many weapons around him.
You're not wrong.
If you think of Michigan
They play
State,
good team basketball, though.
They do. They play great team basketball. I'm scared of Texas Tech. But if you look at Michigan State, Cassius Winston, one of the best passers in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Matt McQuaid, the best 3-point shooter in the Big Ten.
Matt McQuaid.
He's an absolute bucket for no reason.
I mean,
he has no business making that
yammed
many
on
threes.
Dudes. He was like doing everything that game.
Exactly.
He hit the acrobatic and
that was
won.
insane. That was insane.
Caused Twitter debates whether it was skill or luck.
I think it was luck, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it was probably a little bit of both.
Pretty lucky. But he also yammed on a dude and made like 4 threes in the game. So
he went off.
And then if you want to look at their big 3 rotation of Ward, Tillman, and Goins, all of whom can shoot the 3, especially Goins. He made the game winner in the win over Duke.
Yeah.
Right from the top of the key, just stroked it right in. It was beautiful.
When it went in, when he shot it, I was like,
I was really
want to shoot right now.
And, I mean, him or McQuaid, really.
Yeah.
Goins is a very good 3-point shooter when he's hot, and he was hot.
Yeah.
And then, if you think about if Michigan State still had Josh Langford, their other guard who hurt, he broke his foot in like December. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're probably a 1 seed if Josh Langford's healthy.
I mean, a lot of people think they should. You have said that they probably should have been a 1 seed.
I think that they could have been a 1 seed. I don't know that they should have been a 1 seed, but I think they kind of got screwed by the committee and getting put in the region they were put in.
Yeah, I was going to argue they definitely. And even I might have heard Thomas say this. I don't want to misquote him, but I mean, it seemed like they almost had better interest in losing the game to Michigan than beating them. With the way that Michigan ended up in a much better position starting out the tournament.
They did, and then they choked it anyway. So,
that was the last game before the selection committee. So
it was a conference championship game.
It's pretty crazy how like that happened, and then like 30 minutes later, Michigan's a 2 seed facing Duke.
Michigan's a 2 seed facing Montana with the worst 1 seed.
Yeah.
I never like Gonzaga. I almost never pick Gonzaga to go to the Final Four.
I mean, you can't because
they just don't play anybody. They don't play anyone.
And
they do at the beginning of the year. They beat Duke
rank them
once.
high every year.
Every
because,
year, they just win their games every year.
They're a team that I think you can be confident will get to the Sweet 16,
right?
And the Elite 8, and they're still a great college basketball program in the country. They're still probably a top 10 program, but they're not elite. They're not good enough where you can shoot them into the Final Four.
I agree with that.
And there's very few teams that I think are on that level, but they're not at that
Duke
level.
is one of those. But I guess this is one of the best Duke teams I've ever seen.
I mean, yes and no. I don't know. They're very.
If you talk about
they're
talent,
front-loaded. They're front-loaded.
Yeah,
they are not deep at all. Oh my God, Jack White. I think we talked about Jack White on here before. Dude is such a brick.
Too. I was asking for him to make one. They kept giving it to him.
He just kept missing.
It was a sequence where he had 3 in 4 or 5 possessions or something like that.
I don't remember which game it was that I was watching, but it looked like Coach K told Jack White not to shoot anymore because he was getting open looks and he was passing.
Oh, I mean. Yeah, if I'm Coach K, that's...
Just don't shoot. I'm not putting him in the game if I'm Coach K.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, who are you putting in over him?
I mean, Zion's playing 40 minutes if I'm Coach K.
Yeah. I don't know.
And Zion would not mind playing 40 minutes.
Yeah, but he's human.
He is... is he?
Yes.
Subhuman, at least. Yeah, he's just that good. He's not...
He's subhuman.
He's out of this world, man. He's insane.
All right. Moving on to Auburn.
I'm about to...
Auburn lost one of their best players in Shumo
Oh my
Kiki.
God. It's
Ooh,
devastating.
that was a rough injury.
One of those really bad injuries,
Yeah. I believe that was in the Sweet 16? I believe it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Because they had to play the Elite Eight.
It was the UNC
They
game.
wheeled him in there for everything.
Yeah, that was a shame. He's one of their best players. But of course, Jared Harper and Bryce Brown.
It was Okiki, right?
Yeah,
Okiki.
Jared Harper and Bryce Brown carry Auburn, though.
Oh,
such a great guard combo there. I mean, the way that they both can shoot the 3 and the speed of Jared Harper always impresses me. The way, in transition, I don't think there's a better player in transition in the country right now.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's very explosive. We saw them tear up UNC.
Yeah.
They've been super impressive. I mean, they took Kentucky to overtime. I thought they should have won in regular time.
They could have.
Yeah.
One more thing, real quick. You said in transition. We're talking about the Michigan State game again because this is just a stat that I found astounding. In transition points in the East Regional Final between Michigan State and Duke, Michigan State outscored Duke 20-4 on transition fast break points.
20-4.
20-4. Just think about that for a second. They outscored him 20-4 on a team that has Zion Williamson on the fast break points.
Yeah.
I mean, they also made Duke turn the ball over more times than they have this year. So next year, when they don't have Zion, they don't have RJ, they don't have Cam Reddish.
Yeah.
People are they're gonna look at what Tom Izzo did.
Isn't one of them staying? I feel like one of them staying.
No.
Maybe.
I mean,
not officially.
Okay.
Cam Reddish, there's rumors.
I heard.
Yeah.
I thought it was Cam that probably.
but
something
it's.
about-
I don't believe
They're
it.
gone.
Yeah.
probably. Yeah.
But they're gonna look at what Izzo did and the formula he used to beat Duke, which is make him turn the ball over and score on the fast break, and that's how people are gonna beat Duke for the next couple of years, and that's how they're gonna beat Mike Krzyzewski's system.
yeah, I see that. Very fair.
Sorry, that was my little soapbox
Yeah.
about fast break points.
I mean, yeah, I think Duke, when their system's working and when they can establish their offense, you can't really, there aren't a lot of people that can stop them from scoring, especially when they bring in the top talent and they got.
Right. Well, you could do.
Dudes
You have to
like
do what
this.
UCF did too, and you got to stuff the box and make
Oh,
yeah,
make
of
them
course.
shoot outside.
Yeah.
It was really funny to see Trey Jones out there, open threes, and he was scared to take it because he already bricked a few.
Yeah.
They were like, "All right, go ahead, take it," and he was
missed,
afraid
yeah.
to.
He was almost a non-factor in the Elite Eight game.
The absence of Grayson Allen, I think, was very notable in this Duke team.
Hold up, what?
Yes.
You
Okay.
didn't say that. You did not say
I'm sorry.
that. Get
Hear
off.
me out. Hear me out.
Grayson Allen, the greatest Duke basketball player of all time.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that, but I mean, he did put in 4
Sorry,
years.
Grant Hill.
Sorry, but I mean, he wasn't afraid to shoot the three.
He also wasn't afraid to trip dudes.
I was about
I
to
mean-
say that.
I'm not saying that his character is something that is something we can talk that I'm trying to make a point about, but it's the teams that he was on for Duke where they weren't afraid to shoot the three. They had
Sure.
capable 3-point shooters. They really have for a few years, I believe, and it just this year it was all about taking it to the rack, Zion dunking it
Because they could take it to the rack.
because they could, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Grayson Allen had some wild dunks in college, but but yeah, I think that a lot of those earlier Duke teams were more balanced, and then UCF really exposed them for being a poor shooting team, which was evident all year. But
Yeah, well, I mean, we knew that they were bad at
It's-
shooting
yeah.
threes.
I mean, UCF definitely had personnel that could match up with them inside.
7'6" Taco Fall, and
Yeah.
a wingspan of 8'4", 6",
Something. It starts with an 8. That's all you need to know.
Basically,
and it's not 8-0.
It's not 8-0.
Basically, the thing is, hey, if you guys want to take it into the paint, you better be able to shoot it over a 7'6" man with his hands all the way up in the air.
But yeah, on that note, there was that moment. I think that only true competitors. I'm gonna sound corny here for a second, but there was this moment in the Duke UCF game where it was, I believe Duke were down 4 or something like that. No, it was probably 3. It was Zion. I swear, he something zoned in. He just clicked, and he realized I need a bucket right here.
The dude's a baller.
Staring at Taco Fall, 4 fouls. He's standing in the paint. He's not moving anywhere. He's just chilling. He does a spin off his defender and then goes right at Taco Fall, forces the foul, and then gets the and one.
That's what he needed to do. He knew what he needed to do.
Oh my god!
And he did it.
I feel like that play, if anything, if people don't even know who Zion is, they should be able to watch that play in that juncture in that game and be able to tell that he's different. He's just so gifted.
He's fearless.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if there's any other player in college basketball who could have done what he did right there.
Well, I look at Zion, and I think, I see what he did to Taco Fall.
Yep.
And I take out Taco Fall, and I put in Joel Embiid, or Giannis, or
Sure.
Anthony Davis. And I think, does he do the same thing in that situation? Because that's what's going to determine how good of an NBA player is. Because I know he's probably going to be, a stretch 3 maybe? He's not...
He doesn't have the height.
No, he doesn't have the height to match up with them.
I
But
mean,
he's
he's not
strong
playing
and
the
he's
4 or
powerful,
anything, yeah.
and he wants to go to the rack. So
Yeah, you probably play him as a wing, maybe a 4,
maybe
because he's big.
he is big. I mean, he's big. He's just not tall. He's tall, but he's not tall.
Yeah.
He's not NBA tall.
He's not NBA tall. He's not Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Who's a 4.
Yep.
So I think that's really what's going to determine success in the league. It's not how well he's going to be able to shoot the 3, because teams aren't going to want him to do that. They're going to want him to go to the hole, get the foul, and then the biggest thing he needs to work on is his free throw shooting.
Yeah.
He shot like
definitely.
65% or something. It was
that
not,
whole Duke team shot like right around 60. Something.
It was
not
bad.
Good.
And they were also very much not clutch with their free throw
Oh,
shooting.
not
I think it was Barrett in the Michigan State game. They were down 2 with like 15 seconds
that was
left.
the
and
whole meme. Zion scores 10 points in a row. RJ Barrett
bricks the first.
Let me try to vote.
Yeah, let me try to vote.
Yeah, and it just didn't. It didn't.
No,
work
it
out.
didn't go.
And that really cost Duke a Final Four ticket to the Final Four.
I was super pressed watching that game.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to make both of them, and then State was going to lose in overtime. That's what I thought was going to happen, but I was wrong.
But then Cassius Winston gets the ball, doesn't get fouled.
Oh, I really thought he was going to go to the hole. I was like, oh, he should yam this, and then I was like, wait, nah, he should just run it out.
Yeah.
That was some of the worst ball handling I've ever seen. When he was taking it down the court, he was dribbling, the ball was going up over his head. He was going insane. It was
when he got with 1.6 seconds
yeah,
left.
and when he just
I'm not really judging him on his.
I'm not
ball
judging him on
handling
it either, but he was booking. He was not.
I mean, yeah, you have to be sprinting
that
as
dude
fast
was,
as you can.
He was
get
gone.
Away. Yeah,
he was not letting anyone take that ball from him.
yeah, yeah.
Any
Auburn.
John Morant?
Auburn.
Auburn.
Oh,
we talked about Auburn.
We talked about Auburn.
yeah,
Yes.
we just talked about
We
Auburn.
just talked
I'm
about
trying
Auburn.
to transition to John Morant's performance.
Oh yeah, we can
Mine's head
transition
over
to John
here.
Morant.
I feel like we should
Murray
bring
State.
that up.
Very impressive. John Morant. Oh my God, take it away, Dylan, please.
Triple-double in the NCAA tournament. First time since Draymond.
Draymond.
First time by a guard since way longer than before that.
Way longer than Draymond.
And, I mean, his stat line was really impressive. Just the intangibles, though, I think are the most impressive part about him, right? Like, he just creates plays out of nowhere. And there's a lot of players that, in college basketball, they're able to shoot, they're able to do a lot of different things, but, like, he just has a quality that you don't really get born with. You have to learn that. And that's just something that makes him really special, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him play at the NBA level.
He's going to be a top 3 draft pick, no doubt, in my mind.
I mean, I would love for the Pistons to get a...
I think that a team that should really consider drafting him, assuming that they probably not going to be the number 1 overall pick because you can't not pick Zion. The Phoenix Suns. I think that he is the exact player that the Phoenix Suns need right now.
Another guard?
Yes. So Devin Booker is a scorer.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
And Morant's a playmaker.
Morant is a true playmaker. I mean, he can score, don't get me wrong, but he does it all. I feel like he's the Russell Westbrook of college basketball, only he's more focused on dimes than Russell Westbrook is, because Russell Westbrook has like a scoring focus, I'd say. But
he
watching
still finds
John
his open
Morant,
looks, though.
What's up?
He still finds his open looks, though.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, for sure.
I mean, yeah,
times.
you need to if you're going to be a top 3.
If you're going to drop 20 assists in a game, I mean, like, you need to be looking for him.
I mean, yeah. So John Morant, I just think that him manning the point, because Devin Booker as a point guard, I mean, there's only so many times where you just kind of dribble the ball up and take it yourself. I mean, he's just playing solo ball out there. That's how he scores 70 points in a single night and loses, because there's nothing else happening around him. He's got to take the ball up himself and create his own offense. So John Morant there really making DeAndre Ayton look good and getting the most out of Devin Booker as a shooter and bucket getter. I think that could really be exciting. The Suns should be one of the bigger teams to watch. And if they have all 3 of those guys on rookie deals, they could go get a free agent.
Yeah, definitely. And you mean the Bulls are another team that he could end up with. The Knicks are another team you can end up with. All these teams are teams that, they have a few playmakers, or not playmakers. They have a few guys that are impressive with scoring or rebounding, and I think they're definitely teams that John Morant could bring the best out of.
I think that a player like Otto Porter, just because I've seen him a lot, of course he's on this max contract now. His best years were when John Wall was in like the height of his career. He thrives. He was at like a 49% from 3-pointer that one year when John Wall was surefire all-star. And the reason why it was so good is because he could just post up in the corner and collect his 3 every other possession, and he was made to look very, very good, and that got him his big contract. So having a playmaker like that next to an Otto Porter, some of these guys who we know can score, can really make a difference for an NBA team. So his draft stock should be very interesting to watch. Who are these other guys that we're looking at besides Zion?
Marcus Howard, maybe. He'll go top 10, but he's another one of these just scorer guys. Barrett, Reddish, and Zion will probably all go top 5, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, that definitely seems the way it's going to go.
How it's going to go,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Talking about college basketball. There's been a lot of news with college basketball. I think one of the biggest stories stories that is closest to our hearts here at the college, the alma mater of the nation, is Tribe men's basketball. Go Tribe! We've made a new head coaching hire. Who did we hire, Joe?
Dane Fischer.
Dane Fischer.
Yep. Former assistant at Bucknell, George Mason. Head coach at
he was
D3
just at Mason.
school. Yeah. He was a head coach at a D3 school. Took him to the national championship game.
Was it Williams?
It was Williams.
He was Williams. Yep. Yeah, Williams are one of the top D3 programs in the nation. I'm excited. I think something everyone is going to be looking at is, of course, we've had a lot of people in our program just now, recently in the last month, be very uncertain about their future with the Tribe. How many? So who is it, Dylan?
So we've got 6 players that are looking to transfer, or exploring a transfer option.
Entering that transfer portal.
Yeah, we've got 1 recruit that was supposed to come to us this year and has now opened up his recruiting process to other colleges.
I think that was our only recruit, right?
Yeah, our one recruit. And then we've got Nathan Knight, our best player, unanimously our best player, who's now exploring the NBA draft.
Yes, so he declared. My understanding is that he's not going to sign with an agent.
I don't know how it works.
I mean, we don't know exactly
He's with
what
an
his decision
NCAA
is.
agent at the moment.
Most likely. I don't know if it's been confirmed or not. I assume that's because he's a junior. He does have 1 more year of eligibility if he doesn't get drafted. So he could pull a Justin Wright Foreman and get back for his senior year if he doesn't get drafted.
Yeah, just to explain the Justin Wright Foreman situation, he's a player for Hofstra basketball, great scorer, he's a guard, and he had a similar situation where he declared for the NBA draft after his junior year. Things didn't work out there. Came back his senior year and absolutely balled out.
That's true.
Was probably
balled this year.
Best player, if not top 2 player in the conference with Nathan.
I mean, definitely the best player in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, talking about William and Mary, so it's the 6 guys. Who are the 6 guys that are on the portal?
So we've got in the portal is 5 in the portal, and then Nate with the draft. Justin Pierce, Matt Milan, Chase Audige, L.J. Owens, and Luke Lowy in the transfer portal.
Audige and Owens are the freshmen.
They are the freshmen.
Yeah.
Audige was all freshman CAA, if I remember correctly.
So let me just throw some numbers at you.
Yeah.
This year, the Tribe averaged 74.9 points per game. Those 6 players that I just named combined to average 69.3 of those 74.9 points.
So if they all leave, we'll be retaining
5 points per game. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's where we are right now.
That's where we're sitting.
So we're definitely hoping that
we are very much hoping that we get at least 4 of them back.
Yeah. So how this works, basically, the graduate transfer that we have here is Justin Pierce. He has completed. He's going to graduate, I believe.
He already did.
Oh, he already graduated. Yeah. So if he transfers, he can go directly into playing for another school. Whereas if any of our other players transfer, they would have to wait out a year.
Well, I should have to correct you there. Please. Matt Milan also would be a grad transfer.
He would also be a grad transfer.
So
he's already transferred once, though.
Yeah, from Boston College.
Yeah.
But he's also able to play like a year from now, basically. He doesn't have to wait out a year.
Okay. So yeah, keeping all this in mind, I think that this, at least I don't know exactly what their mindset is, but a lot of the players in the program probably don't want to wait a year if they transfer somewhere. You would think.
I hope so.
we do hope
we
so.
hope.
We do hope so.
So, I mean, let's just think back, 3.5 weeks ago, before Tony Shaver was fired.
Yes.
We felt great. We were like, next year is the year.
I think that there was a sentiment all year that next year was going to be the year.
But if you think about it, we've got Andy Van Vliet, grad transfer from Wisconsin, who we're going to have next year. 7 feet, can shoot the three. Pair him with Knight down low. I mean, best,
Nathan Knight, don't get me wrong, he's going to be a power forward, if anything, if he goes to the league. I don't think he's center height, even in the CAA.
He's not. He's not a center. He was our tallest
guy. Because
guy.
of how good he is. But I think that him being complemented by the taller Van Vliet would be very dangerous.
That would be definitely.
And
And then add in Justin Pierce to that mix if Justin Pierce would be in the picture next year, which again we were looking at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And
who had
that's
a
just a
great game
really dangerous front court.
Yeah, for sure. Justin Pierce had a great game in what might end up being his last game for the Tribe. Sounds really sad to say. But he dropped the game high, I think.
I don't know.
Maybe not
it was high 20s.
It was definitely for the highest
he
out
dropped
of our
a
team
lot in that game.
But yeah, he's getting a lot of interest from a lot of places around the nation.
One of those being
name a few. Name a few.
He dropped 26.
He dropped 26, and
I can get you that. Okay, so schools that have offered Justin Pierce: Notre Dame, Ohio State, North Carolina, Northwestern,
UNC, North Carolina.
UNC. So
is this like offers or interest?
This is. It just says schools that.
Are you sure it's NC State?
NC State was also on the list.
Oh, damn.
I didn't get to them yet. Gonzaga, and to cap it all off, the University of Michigan.
Ann Arbor. These are elite programs. These are
okay.
Time.
Mostly elite programs.
Okay, who are you?
Okay, yeah, NC State isn't elite.
NC State's not elite. Michigan's not elite. Gonzaga's not elite.
Notre Dame's
Notre Dame's not elite.
Ohio
State's not elite.
Okay, these are all teams that make the tournament frequently.
I mean, I wouldn't say frequently, but more frequently than us. And also pretty regularly.
Literally anyone has it.
Except
everyone makes it more frequently.
Except for Army, the Citadel, and St. Francis, Brooklyn.
I don't think they gave Justin Gardner Webb has made the tournament more times than us.
I mean, pretty much anyone who's made the tournament has made the... Actually, literally anybody.
Not these 4 teams that are in Division 1 have made the tournament.
Well, no, that's not true. That's the statistic for teams that have been around since the tournament started. So there's a lot of teams that sprung up after that aren't in that 4.
Okay,
I mean, it's still bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got at least 20 other schools that are probably not in contention.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mention Illinois. It wasn't one that people were talking about because he's from the state of Illinois.
He's from Chicago area.
Yeah,
Purdue offered him.
Purdue, really?
Yeah. If he's really about that academia life, I think Stanford and Northwestern both offered him. So those are big schools.
Yeah.
Nothing that I would scoff at. I don't know.
I wouldn't.
I mean, how do you scoff at Stanford Northwestern?
That's what I mean
academically.
But yeah,
in terms of basketball, neither of them are super good.
He's a really good player, and he's the one guy who I think I'm most worried about losing for next year.
Yeah, especially the leadership that he brings. Also,
for sure.
As a senior, well, I guess
going to be a senior.
Yeah,
he's a real stand-up guy. I think you see it in the way that he plays. He leads by example. I assume he leads, in other ways with the team, but he's pretty vocal. He's fun to watch too.
He has a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. When he's in his bag, I don't think there are many players in the conference that can stop him. And
I also want to mention 3rd team All CAA. That's a statistic that we could throw out there
for sure. So yeah, just a lot of
9 double doubles.
9 double doubles, really? That's awesome. Mostly with boards, I assume. Probably all with boards.
Yeah, all with boards.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've brought in Dane Fischer, right?
Yeah.
Dane Fischer.
That's his name.
I mean, he had a dinner with the team.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that he's building a connection. You'd like to think that Samantha Hughie. Yes, you'd like to think that Samantha Hughie, the AD, is making this decision with the players in mind. You'd like to think that they consulted and asked the players for their opinion.
You'd like to think that.
You'd like
Yeah,
to think.
you
You
would
really
like
don't
to.
know, because if I'm the AD, if I want to put myself in their shoes, I would want the best for the program, and losing the recruit and the 6 best players in the program would not be.
If I was the AD that wanted the best for the program, I would have given Tony Shaver one more year.
I mean, we're past that point.
We
I
can't-
think
we
that
can't
a
just
lot
rehire
there are a
him.
lot of things about the Shaver.
I actually
Time
saw
that-
something that Dane Fischer said, that he said that if Tony Shaver was interested in being on his staff, then there was a spot for him.
That's real classy.
Yeah.
Real classy.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird too.
I mean,
it might be a little weird.
if I were
but
Tony Shaver, I probably
I'm
would
not
not
coming
want
back.
to
you
come
probably
back.
wouldn't want to, but I think it says a lot that he offered that. I don't know. If I'm one of the players that entered the transfer portal because Tony Shaver recruited me out of high school, and I got really close with his team and his staff, and he was that guy for me, that kind of means something.
Right. I think that's the biggest reason why he said what he said.
Yeah.
Is because if Shaver comes back, then 5 of these guys come back.
At least, yeah.
I mean, I don't see anyone leaving if Shaver comes back. If that's supposed to be,
Maybe Pierce.
Yeah,
'cause
maybe
I think he might have
Pierce.
been gone anyway.
yeah.
Are we counting Nathan Knight in the 6 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
just
gotcha.
like people who
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I
whose
got you.
future in this program is up in the air.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're rooting for the Tribe.
We always are, but
yeah.
this is a low moment.
We really want to see them go to the tournament. I think that Dane Fischer, something that I like to see was that he made it very clear in his press conferences and all that he has every intention of.
I mean, he better. Every college basketball coach should be like,
I
we're
think
gonna
it's
go to the dance.
good. They had a lot of nice things to say, him and President Rowe and Hughie, about combining the academic and athletic aspects. And I think that William and Mary, not to dog on anyone else in the conference, but I think we do the best job of combining our size, which is a lot smaller than a lot of the other schools in this conference. Our academics, I mean, I think we're up there, if not the best.
I don't know who has
academically.
better academic sense.
I
than this
I don't.
And,
to be honest,
I think that we are starting to get competitive in athletics. I don't know.
I
I'd like to
mean-
think that we've been
We've
so
taken
and so in-
strides.
Yeah, we've taken strides.
And
Yeah,
if you look at the sports that people quote unquote care about,
this is the
those
thing. Like,
people-
we're good in
football
like
and men's
other
basketball.
sports, like
right,
our
our
swimming,
swimming
team
and
is-
track
yeah.
and cross country are, they're
Shout out
tough.
cross country.
Shout out
Did
our-
well.
Didn't they win the
what
con-
about
the
men's,
conference
what about the men's
championship?
frisbee team? I heard they're pretty good.
I heard that they're
Our
kinda
frisbee
choking this
team
year.
is very good. Dark horse and seahorse both, both ranked in
Well, that's
the
good.
big college frisbee.
Yeah,
I mean,
ranking
that's. I
system.
mean, just because they rank every team.
You didn't have to say that.
What about the women's ones too? They're pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mother
Field hockey. I
Oh,
thought
they
we were
went-
talking about
they were dancing
field
this
hockey
year.
with dance this year.
Oh yeah, field hockey for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, also our women's frisbee teams are very good too.
Oh,
yeah, sorry to cut
yeah,
you off
tried
there.
baseball. Shout out.
20-7.
Oh my god, they had such a hot start, and they're doing well this year. It's fun to see.
It's really great to see our freshman class.
Who's
doing
our
well, too.
baseball coach?
Brian Murphy.
Brian Murphy. Shout out, Brian. We got the stud freshman pitcher,
Zach Sakunis.
Zach Sakunis, and Matt Thomas in the
Matt
outfield
Thomas,
too.
Yeah.
Shout
Lots
out
of
to-
freshmen stepping up for tri baseball this year.
For
Jack
sure.
Cohn,
Fun to watch.
another
fun to
outfielder.
watch. But yeah, try baseball. Continuing with basketball, though, I think that it's something that we all want to see is that NCAA tournament berth. It's good to see that Fisher went out and directly said it. If he didn't say it, would have been the elephant in the room.
I mean, I don't even care how bad we get smacked in the first round. I just want to get there.
I
I
mean,
mean,
definitely
yeah,
wanna
that's
get
definitely
there.
what it's about. I mean, what I like about Dane Fischer is the other schools that he's been assistant coach for were all teams that were kind of in a similar situation to us before he came in, where they're teams that really hadn't seen a tournament all too often, were kind of at a low point, and he was able to use his recruiting abilities, use his offensive style to get them over the edge and make them like a conference or like a tournament team. Like you look at Bucknell, they made the tournament under him. Yeah, and you look at George Mason, who they haven't made the tournament. They started at the
They've been
bottom.
competitive.
They were before him. They were bottom dwellers of the Atlantic 10, and now they're a top Atlantic 10 team.
Yeah, I think that everyone's talking about his recruiting prowess, and I think that
God, we need some. We have no one
we
coming in
do.
for next year right
we
now.
do.
So
yeah, our single recruit. We have
Decommitted.
been-
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so looking at that, I think that it may be a little unfair to judge Coach Fischer on next season just because of the situation that he's been placed in with all these players up in the air. We'll see what happens with them in the coming days, months, weeks, whatever, whenever they make their decision. We'll see if he can snag a transfer or a recruit or something.
Just something, man. We need. I mean, I'm gonna walk on next year. Like, if we don't get any dudes, like...
yeah. Guess they're asking dudes at the rec, but I think that with most college basketball coaches, you can really start judging them fairly in their third and fourth years and beyond that, because then they get their whole system in. You finally see a team of players that he recruited the whole way through. So,
unfortunately for Coach Fischer, our tournament window is closing. If Nathan Knight's gone, then so are our tournament hopes.
Yeah,
realistically,
I agree. Yeah, I think that after next year, if he's gone, and we do get this last year out of him, if he wastes this year with him, then it's not looking good for Mary.
I mean, if there's any reason for optimism within the CAA, Northeastern and Hofstra, probably the two top teams this recent year. Saw them in the championship. We're looking at a Hofstra team without their guy, Justin Wright Foreman. He's been their guy. Played his last year of eligibility this year. You'd assume that he goes into the NBA, but if he doesn't, I'm sure he'll be very successful in elsewhere, wherever professionally he plays. And then you're also looking at Northeastern, who, I don't know if you guys have realized this, but they've got two players on the transfer market at the moment. They've got Sean Osius and Danelle Gresham, I believe his name is. And Osius was injured a lot last year, but when he came in, he was a spark to their offense. And I would say that almost individually, he was the one that, when they needed someone to step up, he was the one that did that. And if anything, it might be Charleston's conference next year. I'm not sure, but the CAA is probably going to look different next year.
Yeah, so pretty fun to watch for. We'll support the Tribe through and through. We also love to see them do their best. So we love a lot of the people in Tribe basketball. We love Samantha Hughie for the moment. We'll see what happens. We love Coach Fischer. Welcome to the Tribe. Yep. We love Nathan Knight. Can we just have a Nathan Knight
Can I just say,
moment?
Nathan Knight, if you do end up choosing the draft, I wish you the best of luck in the NBA if you are drafted. And just generally, I wish you the best of luck.
You're already going to be in William & Mary folklore for being the GOAT, honestly. But imagine being the guy that brought them to the tournament.
I think that's what's going to help a lot of these guys stay, is they want to be part of the team for William & Mary. They want to be the guys.
So, I think seeing that and having that goal would be huge for this team, and I just hope that everyone buys into that and buys into Coach Fischer's
Actually, I want to leave with the Dane Fischer quote. Regarding, keeping the players that are currently on the transfer portal, he said that, there's a reason that these players chose William & Mary. And he really wants to bring out those reasons. He wants to remind them, basically, why they chose this school. And he knows that they're still there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's big.
Beautiful. This has been a pretty good episode. We'll be watching the Final Four. We'll be watching William & Mary basketball next year in hopes of a CAA championship run. It's been Abhishek,
Dylan,
and Joey.
Have a good one.